Hey everyone, I'm Andy,
And I'm Sean.
and this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, Linvala, Shield of Seagate.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching us here on YouTube. It's the Commander's Brew. It's our brand new deck tech for this week. If you are looking to help support the show, hitting subscribe is a big thing to do. Also, checking out our Patreon, patreon.com/commandersbrew. Once you go over there, you can donate to the show directly and actually get in on our Discord once you do so and help us brew these decks and be like a part of our Discord server, a part of the brew community we have there, and directly help the show. It's amazing. So check it out, patreon.com/commandersbrew. There's other things as well. But we're going to get into this week's big deck tech, which I'm really excited about. Sean, what are we working with here this week?
Okay, Zendikar gave us a bunch of new cool commanders, and specifically, I was drawn to Linvala, Shield of Seagate. Linvala is a 3/3 flying legendary angel wizard, 1 white blue. So we're working with an Azorius deck. Azorius decks, are usually known for being controlling. People, you face an Azorius deck, you expect maybe, oh, they're going to counter everything. They're going to try to control the game. Well, here's what Linvala does. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, that is a wizard, a cleric, a warrior, and a wizard, cleric, warrior... Rogue, thank you. If you control a full party, choose at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Guess what? We're going to ignore that entire paragraph. We can't even... we don't even have all the things. It's not even possible unless some weird cloning or like some sort of unusual thing happens. It's never going to happen. We're brewing around Linvala for this part of our rules text. Sacrifice Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible. Creatures you control gain that ability until end of turn. So Linvala is set up to give your whole team indestructible or hexproof, which makes her an amazing commander for just a beatdown deck. So we're brewing an Azorius beatdown deck. This is a non-control Azorius deck. That's what we're doing. We're going to put a bunch of beefy creatures, usually from the white part of the color pie. There's a lot of white loves to attack. We're going to do a lot of that, and some of the blue does too. We're going to support it with blue cards to help draw more, to help the velocity of the deck go, get that engine running. And yeah, we're gonna do all of it. So let's set the scene, okay? Let's get into this deck brew. Let's set the scene. Protection. Linvala is protection. We don't want to be too scared of putting a whole team out there. So we're going to protect the team. Linvala herself can protect the team, but we have other ways of doing so. For example, Unbreakable Formation, 2 and a white, instant. Creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn. And if you cast this spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. If we already have Linvala out, I'm happy to fire this off on a main phase. Just make my team huge, and Linvala's there to protect them in case something happens along the way. I love it. Similarly, Make a Stand. Similar kind of thing. There's a lot of 3-mana instant indestructible spells. This one's 2 and a white. Instant. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and indestructible till end of turn. And another kind of protection, which is sort of within Linvala's ideas of hexproof, is Dive Down. It's a blue instant. Target for a single blue. Target creature gets +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn. Great. I love it. That's kind of the gist of what we're doing. So I say we get to the neat moves.
Working on a
Neat.
moves.
Great.
I love that Linvala is on the cheap side. 3 mana isn't too bad for a commander. So we can sacrifice Linvala and bring her back a few times in a game. But we can cheat a little bit. Andy, why don't you take these first couple?
Okay, yeah. First of all, let's take a look at Thrix. Oh, no, brought back. Sorry, there it is. Oh, there it is, right. So, sacrificing Linvala is cool, but brought back works really well with it. White, instant. Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped. So that's obviously really great. Able to do that in the same turn, even as you cast, or you could. I mean, it's only 2 mana additionally, right? We also have Faith's Reward, which is 3 and a white for an instant. Return to the battlefield all permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. So same thing.
I love it. So Faith's Reward is an interesting one where you're like, so do I sacrifice Linvala for this board wipe, or should I just let the board wipe happen and just Faith's Reward everything anyway? That would depend on how many token creatures or +1/+1 counters you have going around.
Or ETB effects, perhaps, even.
Sure, yeah. Like, they're all things to consider.
Mm-hmm.
I also am running, like I didn't go into detail, but most of our artifact ramp, you got a ramp. Most of our artifact ramp is of the nature where I can sack it to draw cards.
Oh, cool.
So I can also be like, well, while I'm here, I'll sack this Commander Sphere, draw a card, get that back with Faith's Reward or brought back, things like that.
Nice.
And so we're painting a picture here where we are holding up mana quite often for these protection spells. Again, that's why we have all that ramp. That's why we rely on like some cheap, efficient cards that hit hard. But since we're holding up mana, that allows us to run cards like Thrix the Sudden Storm, 3 blue, legendary elemental giant, 4/5 with flash and flying. Spells you control with converted mana cost 5 or greater, cost 1 less, and can't be countered. Nice. That's fun. But like, we're holding up mana, and like a lot of decks that end up holding up mana, you want things to do with it, right? So that's what our draw spells are for. For example, Pull from Tomorrow. If we don't need to cast Thrix, I can cast a Pull from Tomorrow. I've got Linvala on the battlefield, so I don't mind tapping out at the end of the last player's end step for a maximum Pull from Tomorrow, X blue, draw X cards, then discard a card. I will happily tap out if Linvala's out, because then someone's like, aha, well, now that you're tapped out, now I'll try to destroy things? No, Linvala says no. That's fine.
Nice.
Like Thrix allows us to do that. And then another instant, or should I say flash enchantment that we're running is Dictative Heliod. 3 white for a flash enchantment. Creatures you control get +2/+2. This card was made for a beatdown deck. +2/+2 is massive. So like Linvala is now a 5/5 in the air. Thrix attacks for 6 in the air. This card is, again, this is one of the top cards of the deck, the way it functions and everything like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So I also, since we're holding up a lot of stuff, I love that this is a beatdown deck and also a draw go deck at the same time. So
it kind of is.
You know what I mean? I love that though, because they're going to be expecting like counter spells and stuff like that, but we're just going to be like flashing in creatures and then Dictates of Heliod. Another good thing to be doing with that held up mana though is Wrath Capuchin, Ship's Mage, 2 white/blue. 3/3 human wizard with flash and flying. You may cast historic spells as though they had flash. So now all of a sudden we're granting a lot of our other stuff flash as well. Right. Legendaries specifically, obviously. So that does include artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, but we're talking about legendary specifically here for a sec.
Yeah, so I mean, Linvala, we can cast Linvala from our command zone at instant speed. Thrix already has it. Yeah. So Andy, take this next little batch of cards. We have a couple of artifacts and a legendary.
Right, so Death Render is a cool artifact. It's a 4 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Whenever equipped creature dies, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield and attach Death Render to it. And the equip cost is 2, which equip cost is 2. So this works really well with Linvala, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be attaching this to our commander, and then she gets a boost, and obviously just swinging with that is fine. Or, doing the sacrifice, giving your creatures indestructible, hexproof, what have you, and then being able to just get a creature into play for free, basically. But this is pretty sweet. We also
at instant speed.
Yeah.
Like the turn where you flash in a Death Render with Wrath Capuchin, and then equip it to Linvala for 2, and then your opponents are trying some stuff on the turn that maybe they try to swing back. You can sack Linvala, Maybe a Sun Titan comes down, also brings a 3-drop back from your graveyard. If Dictative Heliod's out, those are huge. And so like that's a your opponent's, this deck puts some pressure down.
So like the Sun Titan could even get Linvala, right?
Yes, it's true.
Throw back
That
up
is
your
the
hand.
main thing. Yeah, Sun
pretty
Titan
sweet.
is amazing with
Or
Linvala.
to
That's a
that
time.
battlefield.
It's a risky move. We talked about it in the Discord because, like, yes, you can let Linvala go to the so that Sun Titan loop is pretty easy one.
Yeah.
But Sun Titan in general, like, if Sun Titan's on the battlefield, on your side, and you sack Linvala to protect Sun Titan from a board wipe, for example, are you gonna leave Linvala in the graveyard?
I think if I had Sun Titan already out or in my hand, yes, I would.
Okay.
I consider it anyways.
I mean, because that is easily disrupted. Because I know
Yes.
personally, if someone did that on against me, I would be anything I could do to get rid of that Sun Titan to trap their commander in the
Yeah, that's
graveyard.
true.
I would do anything.
Yeah. You know what? It's true. Yeah, maybe just having Sun Titan out isn't enough. Maybe I'd need something in my hand. Yeah, I've seen that happen, and it's really funny when it does happen because you're like, it's like,
Yeah,
well,
I'll let my commander go to the
Yeah.
graveyard, and I'll cast this reanimation spell on it.
like counter.
I'll counter that reanimation
Yeah,
spell.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We do have an out. One of my draw spells is Glimpse of the Future. What's it called? It's the one with escape on it. So you can exile cards from your graveyard to cast it again.
Oh, yeah, so you can exile your commander that way, and it goes to the command zone.
Yeah. So if I had that in the graveyard, then I would try it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyways, I love thinking
So
about
yeah,
that
here's
stuff.
one artifact we can get. What's another one?
Yeah, so there's Death Render. We also have World Slayer, which is a crazy card. 5 mana for the artifact as an equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. Equip 5. So that does include lands.
Yes, it does.
This is not my favorite card.
Yeah.
I've seen this. Whenever I see this in games, I'm just like, ugh, come on. You're going to destroy everything? Really?
I mean, not our team. Our
No.
team's going to live.
No.
Linvala's going to get sacrificed, and our whole team will have Indestructible. So
now
we'll
again,
be fine.
only creatures you control will get indestructible.
It's true.
So World Slayer will destroy your own lands and everything.
It's
but
true.
obviously, that's fine because we'll have a board of creatures, and our opponents will have no lands, but our opponents will have just nothing at all. So that's something. And then also here, talking about dropping big historic spells. This one helps with these big historic equipment that we've had, which is Danitha, Capuchin, Paragon. 2 and a white for a 2/2 legendary human knight, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, and aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So if we get Danitha out there, these things are just going to be a little easier to cast. And actually, she wears the equipment quite nicely too, actually.
Yeah, look at all those keywords.
Yeah.
First strike, vigilance, lifelink. She's a good combatant. Somehow related to Raph. I'm not sure the relation, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I completely overlooked that. That they're both Capuchins.
My favorite aura spell. I'd have to double check if this might be the only. No, it's not the only aura spell, but Gift of Immortality. 2 and a white aura enchant creature. When enchanted creature dies, aka Linvala, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. This is infinitely recurable without disruption. Like, we just sack Linvala comes back, and then at the end step, Gift of Immortality comes back on Linvala. So we can give our whole team indestructible on every turn. As long as
pretty great.
Right, our opponents have a chance to destroy her, but that's why we have things like Dive Down. That's why we have like other protection spells. You don't try it until like the opportunity's right.
Right. Good call. Very cool.
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, without going into all of the draw spells, we do, we're being responsible deck builders. We do have this is not a control deck, but we do have one or two wraths, as every deck should. We do have one or two counter spells, as every blue deck should, but we're not looking to just counter and control everything.
Right.
So we're about beating, we're about attacking, we're about doing some damage. So I wanted to highlight some other all-star combatants in the deck, starting with Zatalpa Primal Dawn. 6 white, legendary, Elder Dinosaur, 4/8, flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. That's huge. This is one of the best. I mean, it's 8 mana, but you get a lot for it.
Yeah, I mean, the keyword soup here, obviously. This is a very difficult... This card's very difficult to deal with, even in Commander. And, like, throwing equipment on this is almost overkill. You know what I mean? Like, putting any of those things on it is just like, oh, wow. It already has indestructible, flying, trample, all this stuff, double strike, gee whiz. It's wild. Another good one is Angelic Skirmisher. You know, I think this is a Commander's Brew. Like, I think we can put this one in the rafters. Like, we can retire her number. She is an all-timer for our show. We love this card. 4 white for the 4/4 angel with flying. At the beginning of each combat, you choose First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink, and creatures you control gain that ability until end of turn. We love it because it's great from a lot of different places in the game, whether you're ahead, behind, parity. You know how the old quadrant theory goes. That does still apply to Commander as well, and she's really great. She protects you with the Vigilance, or the First Strike for that matter, lets you attack with the Vigilance, and then sometimes you just need that lifelink. And you know, as you know, you do this every combat, so it can change from combat to combat, and and it happens the first combat that you come in. She doesn't attack, but your other stuff can get these things, right? So it's great.
Right, and things like usually on my turn, I'm probably picking Vigilance, so all my flyers should probably be able to get in. And then on everyone else's turn, I'm probably picking First Strike, so I can just gang block and just be like, well, unless you also have First Strike, like nothing's getting through anywhere. So like that's usually a pretty decent pattern. Unless something else is giving everyone Vigilance, like if you have Loyal Unicorn out, then I'll take Lifelink.
Lifelink for sure.
Sure.
Yep. There's another one here.
This is one. The Discord gave me this idea. I wasn't thinking on these lines. I wasn't thinking colorless. Bane of Balaged. 7 generic. 7/5 Eldrazi. Whenever it attacks, defending player exiles 2 permanents. Brutal.
Just the Annihilator light.
Yeah.
But also kind of better.
Yeah, but it's exiled, so it's like Annihilator heavy.
Yeah, exactly. And another one is Dream Trawler. This is pure Azorius styles. 2 white, blue for the 3/5. This is a big hit in Standard, of course. Flying and lifelink. And whenever you draw a card, Dream Trawler gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Dream Trawler attacks, you draw a card. And you discard a card, and Dream Trawler gains hexproof until end of turn, and you tap it. Like, notoriously tough card to deal with because of that discarding a card getting hexproof thing. Incredible card to just play because it's getting buffed by its own draw, like your normal draw trigger plus its own draw trigger when you attack, and obviously any other draws. So, like, Dream Trawler is just a great card. Plus, the lifelink is just... Like, whenever you saw this card in draft, it was just game over, and it holds up in Commander. It's a 3/5, but it's really a 5/5, right? Like, it's
on offense, and that's what we are. We're on the offense.
Yeah, it is like 5/5 or bigger. Like, it is base 5/5 if you're going to attack with it.
I'm not going over all the little draw spells I have, but I do run Keep Watch, which is the 2 blue instant. Draw cards for each attacking creature that there is currently attacking. That's a sneaky one.
Attacking creature, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that on other people's turns if they're attacking someone else. You don't have to be involved in the combat, but often on my side, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to attack with 6 things. One of them is Dream Trawler. I'm going to cast Keep Watch. So I'm going to draw 6. Now Dream Trawler gets +6/+0. So plus the 1 I drew from turn, plus the 1 for attacking. This deck was a lot of fun. This deck is a ton of fun. I wanted to make this comment about the World Slayer earlier, right? People So normally with Azorius decks, people are expecting a bit of an annoying time. They're like, oh, and it's an Azorius deck. They're not my favorite to play against. But this one won't be like that. We're just like, no, man, if you don't like playing Azorius decks because of that, this is the deck for you because it doesn't play like those other decks. Except for that World Slayer, that's the part where we're like, well, I got to be Azorius in some way. I got to do one annoying thing in this deck, and that's what World Slayer is for.
That reminds me of Boros more than anything else. Those Boros decks that like give in just like Tajic having indestructible and stuff like that. That's what that reminds me of.
Yes. This is a fun deck. This is a fun deck to brew. It's a really fun deck to test. I think, I'm going to be excited to put this one together in real life when we get back to that. This is a fun one for late in the evening.
Yeah, you know what? I think attacking decks are underrated as in when it comes to fun. I think, and that might just be me, I don't know, but I think I attribute them with like Voltron decks, which I think do get like repetitive a lot, but when we're talking about just like attacking to have all these things happen, whether it's like World Slayers, Keep Watch, stuff like this, I think that's when it gets fun, and those are the attacking decks that I just love to see.
Yeah. So, and you know what? The Discord, it's real fun to brew with them. Lots of fun ideas. Little loops that I didn't notice at first. Someone brought up like the Death Render loop was like, that's a fun loop there. So Thank you to, and again, our Discord is getting hot. Like they're like it happens quick. So I write down the cards, I go back to the Discord, and it's like 50 messages deeper. So forgive me if I missed you. I'll get you next week though. I'm trying to accept that I might miss a name from time to time.
Yeah.
But in the long run, I will get everybody. If I missed you once, I probably won't miss you next week.
Yeah.
But thank you to Dylan PH, Jamon, Chiefy, Spiff, Sean, not me, that's a different Sean, Papadio, Jordan Black Sheep, Pips Don't Lie, Mr. Big Bents, Beppo, Mattisman, Lol What, Neo Maxes. Couldn't have brewed it without you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, there you go. That's the Discord shout out, which means it is now time for the budget report. All right, so what are we looking at from a financial perspective here today, Sean?
So I had a hard time on TCG Player to get the price here because I put you can find our link in the show notes to look at the deck. But the weird thing is, like, I'm not sure how they process it because the low was not that low. But, and like, so they put up, like, the version of Command Tower that they put up was the $15 one. It's like, no, that's not the one I would be using. I don't want the $15 Sol Ring. Let's use the $4 or $5 one. So looking at different sites and things, like I think this deck is just under $100. I think you can do this deck for under $100, and I bet you by that logic, the low is probably like somewhere around 60. It's an affordable deck.
Yeah. I always check the different sources because, just all around, even though, like, I love the way TCG Player has it all lined up and everything. But, it looks like it's around 90 to, it looks like it's about $90-ish for, and that's not, like, the low. So, I think it's fair to say the low would be pretty low here. You're looking $50-$60.
Well, and we can get that price lower because we're looking to attack with creatures that attack well, and little utility creatures, but some of them are expensive. The Selfless Spirit is the 1 and a white flying 2/1 where you get to sacrifice Selfless Spirit. Creatures you control gain indestructible. It's a strong card, but it's $7.
$7.
Yeah, we can cut it.
It's in the like, I think, Pioneer Spirit deck.
Oh, sure.
There you go.
Of course.
I remember just grabbing this card not that long ago, and it was like, it was nothing. It was very cheap. But yes, yeah. Hey, invent a new format. That's what'll happen. Another one that's a couple bucks. Hero Bladehold, 2 white for the 3/4 Human Knight with Battle Cry. Whenever Hero Bladehold attacks, put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. This one actually has dropped in price a bit from like where it was a couple years ago because of like mystery set reprint, I think.
Mystery, but no, I don't
Mystery
think it wasn't
Booster?
in Mystery Booster.
It was in something, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Really?
There's no extra reprints of
I
it,
guess it's
according to Scryfall.
Oh, well, then I guess but it has dropped in price though. Maybe you just fell off. It was in an old deck that now people aren't playing anymore or something.
Maybe it's getting outclassed.
I think it probably is, Yeah. I mean, this card is from what? Scars of Mirrodin?
Scars of Mirrodin, or Mirrodin Besieged.
Mirrodin Besieged, right. Anyways, I mean, it's good. I still think this is a good commander card. So it's about what, like $6 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a ton, but it's also like, if you want to shave a couple of dollars off, you can probably, it makes tokens and stuff. It does a lot of replaceable things, I think.
Yeah. Another expensive card coming in at $5 is God Eternal Oketra, 3 white, double strike, 3/6 zombie god. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get to create a 4/4 black zombie warrior with vigilance. Pretty nice. And whenever this dies or is put into exile, you get to put it third from the top. So, it's a very strong card. It's very efficiently costed for what you get, especially considering you get all these 4/4s along with it. Do you drop Oketra and then cast a couple of creatures, maybe Linvala comes back, your board is unstoppable. You can replace Hero of Bladehold, you can replace Selfless Spirit, but I would keep God Eternal Oketra in the deck.
Very powerful card.
Ooh, and here's a card I was surprised at how cheap this was. Mr. Big Bents brought this one to my attention. I had not thought about it because I assumed, well, this card's like $5, $6, $7. I don't think I want to put it in. Geist of St. Traft is now less than $2.
I never pictured this as an expensive card for some reason.
Okay.
I remember when it was like big in standard, and I remember so I guess it must have been somewhat expensive at that point, but that was a while.
Maybe that's when I imprinted the price, but like I've always assumed it was kind of expensive. Anyway, it's a hexproof 2/2, 1 white blue, and whenever it attacks, you get to make a 4/4 white angel creature token that's tapped and attacking and flying, and you exile it at the end of combat.
Not bad. I'm just looking at that. I just wanted to see its price history when.
Ooh. The internet's great.
I know. So like that absolutely. I mean back in the day when it was being played, it was like $40 card.
Was it ever like $7? In my mind, it's like $7.
Yeah. When it was around, yeah, absolutely, it was. Yep, it was. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah, it looks like it was around. Oh wow, it was like 10, 12 for a long time. Yeah, $12 around Ixalan even. Then I think it dropped after the Double Masters. No, not Double Masters. Ultimate Masters. Anyways, I think when it was in the dual deck, that probably affected it too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I was surprised, so I'm putting in the budget report.
Yeah, definitely. Down to that's a crazy drop because it held a high price for a long time. I guess it was being played in some old decks, but yeah, now it's down to, depending on where you look, it looks like you can even find this for less than $1 in some places.
Wow, how the Geisty have fallen.
They certainly have. Wow. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, seems as though we've come to the point where we need to attend the awards.
Ooh,
that need to be handed out.
Yes, I'll get my tuxedo on in the limousine.
Yeah, same here. I'll slide into a fresh tux, and we'll take you to the Audrix. Okay, there it is. The Audrix.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see all of you.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I screwed this up. We have to do that again. Okay. All right. I always forget to turn the card off, so it's always showing the old card. Anyways, that's why. That's why I keep doing. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like now that we're done there, it looks like it might be time for us to scoot over and see who our award winners are. Sean, what do you think about we slide into a tux and get over there?
Can't wait.
Let's put our tuxes on and go and host the Odrix. Yes.
What an honor. What an honor to be among such esteemed characters.
I just wanted to say, every year we come here, we gather under this roof, this massive gathering space in Innistrad somewhere, and it's wonderful, and we are truly changing the world here.
It is.
Really are.
It is about celebrating art, individuality, magic cards, and specialness.
It's about converted mana costs. And who has the weirdest art.
Yes. This is a very special edition of the Odrix. We have one award to give out, and that is for the most Odric-like card. Who else could it be but Odric Lunarch Marshall?
Okay.
We can't have the Odrix without giving an award to Odric, 3 and a white, legendary human soldier, 3/3. At the beginning of each combat, all of your creatures get all of the keywords that any of them have. And this deck has lots of keywords, so Odric, thank you for providing us with this venue. I'm assuming this is your place.
I think actually Odric also won a different award today. And he has won the award for the only card still getting played in Commander that is hanging on to Skulk.
Yes.
Really hanging on to Skulk, wanting it to be a relevant keyword still. And Odric Lunarch Marshall, good on you. You're the only man still doing it. Well,
thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful time here at the Odrix. And, that does it for the whole show. That is it. And thanks, everyone, for listening. And, of course, on your way out of the building, drive safely, be careful. Also, always go, if you're from Canada, you want to check out Wizard Tower, wizardtower.com. You want to use our coupon code to get a slice off your single order. If you're outside of Canada, check out TCG Player. Use our affiliate link to go to TCG Player, buy any cards on that site, whether they be from the deck or not, and that's going to help support our show directly. Thank you, everyone. Drive safely. Teferi, I see you there having a good time. Sitting next to Idris Elba, which is great because you guys could be from perhaps parallel universes. It seems as though maybe one's with the inspiration for the other. Okay, great. Love you guys. We'll see everyone next week.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCG Player affiliate link below.
That helps us out too, and for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.